good to go, but we're back here in San Bernardino, California.
Can they hear me now? Hey, look at that.
Oh, there he is.
We'll re-welcome you. Good morning. Good Sunday morning, and we welcome you into the Pure Sports Center, where our microphones are now working. In San Bernardino, California, this is the first of 4 matches on our final day of our opening weekend, and in divisional play, it's a good one. It is the Texas Tyrants, a team that many feel have a golden opportunity to be the team this year, against a Chicago Untouchables squad looking for redemption after losing a 3-2 opener yesterday against the LA Blaze. Nick.
Yeah, they certainly they are in good form right now. Curious to see how Chicago Untouchables answers back after their season opener loss yesterday. But I got to be honest, I think this is a very uphill battle with the Tyrants squad that we're going to see here on the court. I expect to see a lot of the same that we saw the way they were playing against the Blaze, same roster. Langlois, Grasso, Lovett, and Mountie in the middle. I'm curious what setter they go with today. I know they've got Anderson as a reserve. Curious if they use him just to get some court time.
Get some touches,
but
yeah.
I
thought Gabo Quiones did a fantastic job, just not only just running an efficient offense. There's so many weapons on that team, and you don't want anybody to get cold. He kept everybody involved the entire match.
Certainly the case. Curious to see on the right side as well. We saw Tim Johnson have a fantastic match. But again, we know they've got Daniel Jacobs, so curious if he gets any looks as well. And I'll be curious to see the libero jersey. They've got a lot more depth this season than they had last year. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage that roster here and what their approach is mentally in terms of giving everyone some playing time.
And what else I'm looking for out of Texas today is Austin Lovett. Really will be focusing on him. He made incredible strides from last year through the opening match of the season on Friday. See if he's able to play at the exact same level or even higher, because he looks to me as if he has the highest ceiling of any of the players.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Now to look over on the side of the Chicago Untouchables, I think we saw some huge improvements when there was a small roster adjustment. We saw Austin Neese make his appearance, and I think we would be surprised if he didn't get the start here today after his performance yesterday, alongside Will Ragland, number 13. We saw a lot of power in the middle as well. Potentially some inconsistencies in the passing, though. So that'll be something that we want to see the Chicago Untouchables shore up here. We saw Zachar Pasha in the middle alongside number 30 there, Camille Garbowski. So expect to see them once again. I'm curious if we see Cartwright or Robinson get the start in the libero jersey in black today. But we'll have some of those questions answered here shortly.
On my Rathor, he's Nick England. And Noah Chast is the third member of our crew. He'll be alongside as we continue on here on a beautiful Sunday morning for volleyball here in the Inland Empire. The first match of the year for the Tyrants, of course, came on Friday. They were off yesterday. Of course, you played now 2 out of the 3 days on a weekend, not 3 days in a row. And they had no problems with the LA Blaze, winning 25-15, 26-24. Behind a 17-kill, 59% hitting rate from Jake Langlois, 13 kills from Tim Johnson, who just looked unblockable at moments. When Gianluca Grasso does not have to have more than 7 touches to win a match, that's just scary.
So on the side of Tyrants, we do see Grasso, Langlois, Johnson, Lovett, Mountie, Malero, and of course, Gabo Quinones, captain of the ship. On the side of the Untouchables, they do decide to go with Neese and Ragland on the outside. Garbowski in the middle.
Isaac Sageman gets a start.
Yep, we saw him as a serving sub yesterday. And it looks like Jordan Robinson, based on his location, I'm assuming he's getting the start at libero, but we'll see that momentarily.
And pay close attention again to Jose Malero, one of the finest liberos in the NVA. Don't have his dig totals in front of us at the moment, but Malero was all over the court. His serve receive was really what powered the entire Tyrant engine.
It certainly was. That team's got a especially good serve receive, so that's going to be a challenge here for the Chicago Untouchables, who were working to find a good groove serving yesterday, but we're about to get underway.
Malero right now has the highest serve reception percentage of anybody in the division, as we are underway, and we start off, well, with the way that Friday ended, with Jake Langlois easily putting one away.
Nice sharp cross-court swing there. Untouchables off blocker, unable to find that dig.
Jake Langlois will be 30 years old in May, and he just continues to shine. That one too long. No touch. And a quick 2-0 lead for the Tyrants. Chicago's wearing their white uniforms today. New sharp look for them as well. Here's Langlois. Deep float that handcuffs Raglan. Raglan will poke Malero. Dives to save it, and then Langlois attacking from the back row. Second chance for Chicago, and that will be blocked out of bounds. You saw the reaction from Grasso. Thought he had it.
Wow, that was a pretty phenomenal effort. We saw triple blocks coming out on the side of the Tyrants, but Untouchables doing a very good job of managing their swings and waiting for an opportunity and wearing the Tyrants down throughout that rally. Well-earned point.
So here's Isaac Sageman, Evanston, Illinois native, and that is left short on the attack by Lovett.
We always talk about the impact of the middle. Gabo Quinones there looking for an ability to, connect early, and I still like the miss. See if you can find your guy early and get him involved.
First attack error of the season for Lovett, who was 8 for 10. And Grasso gets stuffed. Big rejection on the right side for number 20, Ben Gaber. That's a return fire from Lovett, who buries it. And just a correction, number 20 is now Noah Richetti, as they had made a uniform and roster change and not been reported courtside over to me, so my apologies. They're off the tape for the ace. Austin Lovett using every bit of the tape as it trickles and falls, and impossible for Chicago to cover as they fall behind 4-3.
Garbowski laying out there and paints a nice little sweat streak on the court, trying to help out as the middle blockers' role and responsibility is frequently to cover any ball like that rolls over the tape, but that was as short a serve as you can actually get over the net.
That's the first ace of the season for the Tyrants. Did not have one in the LA Blaze match, didn't need to, and you could overpower your opponents offensively. And that one is long. Lovett was able to duck that shoulder to avoid it, and he'll continue to serve.
Sageman is starting off a little cold right now. 2 hitting errors, sailing 2 balls long. See if he can start finding a court. He's replacing Danny Paraskevov, who we saw playing quite well yesterday. Curious to see if he makes any appearance here.
In the middle, and that is put away. Big swing from Garbowski. Garbowski in the loss yesterday to LA was involved quite a bit, hit 69%, 11 kills and 16 swings, only 1 error. And here is Raglan to serve. Raglan had 2 aces yesterday. That's well covered by Chicago. They try to go over on 2, blocked back. They go to Nice, reach out and stuff someone. Tim Johnson with some help from Ryan Mounty.
Grasso blocked that first dump off of his nose. He's recovering a little bit right now. Right place, right time, rewarded, but maybe not in the way he would have hoped for.
Yeah, you can see his nose actually swelled up there a little bit. Certainly red. Tim Johnson with a big serve, nearly another ace. Down the line, that's dug back over by Malero. Back-to-back Mounty teaming up with Grasso.
We're seeing an impressive effort here early from both teams trying to find pressure on the blocking side of the ball. Well done by the Tyrants. Their discipline very apparent.
Tyrants had 7 terminal blocks in the win on Friday. Already have a pair here. They have a commanding 7-5 lead. Only 2 points on the scoreboard, but they clearly have the momentum out there on the court. Impressive looking bunch, Nick.
Certainly is. I got to say, Chicago Untouchables, though, not in a bad spot considering they've got a couple hitting errors that have put them down these points. If they can corral that back in and dial it back in, they're going to be in a good spot.
Mounty's dug up. They'll go looking for Pasha. Ragland's able to keep that one alive. Cross court, I don't know how Malero gets there, but he does. However, the dump for Chicago for the kill. And it wouldn't have mattered anyways, the Tyrants are into the net.
Man, they didn't get the point, but it feels so hard to play the game when you've got a libero covering that much court. Nothing is easy, and it really makes you earn everything. Malero on fire early here.
Malero, 5'5", plays like he's got 2 or 3 of them out there on the court. He's literally, as Nick said, everywhere.
Garbowski missed that serve there, and now Grasso gonna take a chance.
His team ahead, Grasso with the big toss towards the court. Firepower comes over on one. They go to Tim Johnson. Misdirection for the kill. Here's Grasso. Another big serve. Swinging one is Nice, but he gets blocked back. They go to the back row and they leave it short.
Well, if I'm Chicago Untouchables right now, I'm scratching my head seeing if it's time for a change. I don't know the philosophy, but Paraskovov was swinging well and digging well yesterday. That's going to be 3 hitting errors for Sageman and a missed dig on that last rally. Be curious to see how Coach Lee takes that.
Here's Nice swinging. Tim Johnson got handcuffed.
A little bit of a miscommunication from Quinones to Johnson in regards to what their approach was on the block there. I think Johnson was expecting Quinones to be up, and then he pulled hands, and Johnson kind of got stuck in the middle of nowhere.
And that is too long on the serve by Richetti. No, Richetti is a 6'3" setter. Played at Sacred Heart in Connecticut. Mounting with the serve. And that is put away for the back row. First chance we've seen Sageman getting involved offensively.
Great opportunity for him to get a little bit of a bailout swing and help the boys out there. The serving pressure is certainly mounting on the side of the Tyrants.
Here's Nice. Malero, another dime of a pass. And Lovett makes the error. Texas said that Chicago was into the net. The officials say we saw none of that. And we are...
Tyrants is going to go ahead and challenge that.
They will challenge it. If you believe enough in your convictions, why not? So you see the Untouchables as dropping a 3-2 decision yesterday, and our official for this match, radioing with our replay crew upstairs. That is Elvin Otley. He's our R2. Our R1 for the match is Dennis Franciscini. Patrick Bradley, Rena Smith on the lines. So I think Nick has a little toy here.
Yeah, I got a little toy. We'll see if it works out for us. I was tired of Noah having all the fun yesterday getting to watch the challenge system, so we're seeing if we might be able to pull it live here in the broadcast booth, give you a little update exactly with what we're seeing, but software is still booting up, so we'll keep you in the loop. To re-clarify, so there was, on that swing with Mountie, the net was moving quite a bit after the fact, and I don't think anyone's certain if there was in fact a net, but Tyrants looking for a point here if they can get it. So play is up. Everyone's reviewing right now on the sideline.
The entire gym goes silent waiting for this call. Johnson and Nice expressing pleasantries across the net. We need some theme music. during the
Yeah.
review.
The Jeopardy music going on.
I mean, it's taken a little while, but what we've seen the first 2 days of the season is that it's getting the job done. It's working, and
Yep.
we saw Chicago win. I think it's their first challenge that they've been on the winning side of, although technically I don't think it counts because
No, they
went
just
to what
retained the
challenged
same
it.
point that was called. So that's going to be no net called there. Texas Tyrants lose one of their 3 challenges, giving them just 2 more challenges for the next 4 sets.
And of course, the Untouchables is still 0 for on the year. Rosso with the pass. They go to Langlois, and there's no match. And here is Gabo Quiones to serve. Raglan with the reception. It takes back his setter. And that's blocked back by the Tyrants. Rosso trying to set up Langlois with the roll. And laying out for that is libero Jordan Robinson. Here's Langlois. That gets blocked.
Wow.
Triple block there on the right side, but that is mostly number 27, Isaac Sageman's right hand closing off the pin.
We see a great job there by both sides being aggressive on the net. Quick recognition that a roll shot was coming from Langlois and Untouchables, able to seal, earn the point there, and Pasha now to serve.
Langlois with the pass. They go to Tim Johnson, and he sticks it in the back corner.
And goes over top of the double block of Sageman and Garbowski.
And just a smart play by Johnson. Doesn't have to crush it there. Sees the block in his face, just sticks it in the back corner where nobody's standing. Good serve by Langlois. They go outside the Raglan, who misses badly. Raglan yesterday in the 3-2 loss to the LA Blaze only hit 41%.
16-point timeout.
But he had 13 kills to go with his 5 errors. And Johnson able to get that one to fall in for a 15-10 lead.
This is quite a run opening up here. Tyrants are right on the precipice of earning a 6-point lead heading into the technical timeout.
Langlois continues the service run, and it's ended from the back row on the swing by Nice. So here's Isaac Sageman. Sageman just 23 years old. Lands the ace.
We really needed to see that from Sageman. Like I said, he was having a little bit of trouble getting going early here. He's had some hitting mistakes and some missed opportunities in the back row. So I'd love to see him having success now from the back line. See if he can continue that here, make a little 1 or 2 point run before getting into this technical timeout.
Now you want to give him at least a full set to work with to try to get going. He certainly is starting to get there. Rosso, that's dug up by Robinson, saved by Chicago, and will be sent deep. Valera with a perfect dime pass and allows Langlois to do bad things. And that will send us to our technical timeout, 16-12. The Tyrants in front of Chicago. We're going to send it to our courtside reporter. First time today, we'll bring in Noah Chast.
Well, good morning, guys. And I spoke to Coach Andrew Lee for the Untouchables, and he said this is a tough team to try and out-strength and out-match. And they're going to have to really focus on moving the ball and putting an emphasis on placement over power. So really being consistent with their serves and just outsmarting this team because they're not going to really outwin them outright at the net. And in terms of Pereshkovov, like you said, he told me they're just working on some rotations, and they don't have all their guys, and they're trying to see what works and what doesn't. He may be coming in as a blocking sub if needed at some point in this set or this match.
Thank you, Noah. And of course, the Tyrants, an athletic team that has so many weapons to work with, but this is their core group. This is the group that if they're going to be a team that is competing for a title this year, and I firmly believe they are my preseason pick to win it. Of course, I picked the Ramblers last year to win it, and you guys left me hanging there in the final, Nick.
You know, there's a lot that goes into it. Ramblers and Centers returning everyone and more that they had last year, and that was enough to get them to the finals last year. Tyrants upgrade that roster. Stingers are adding some firepower, and plenty of other teams bringing a lot more new faces this season. So be sure to keep in touch.
What a save by Lovett laying out. Chicago, can they capitalize? They will. Johnson thought that there was a touch on the way down. Chicago is trying to encourage Texas to challenge. They have the option to. Can't take them home with them. But Tim Johnson's just going to applaud Chicago for their effort and move on to the next play. Saved by Quiones with one arm yanking it back. And then Malero lays out. Rosso changing direction with the big swing. He went down though, and it looked like he may have rolled an ankle. He is in a lot of pain. He's being...
This is an interesting one. You don't see too many mid-rally injuries.
Yeah,
they kind of happen a lot. When you see injuries, most of the time in volleyball, and hopefully Gross is okay and works this out, but what you'll see a lot of the times is blocking moves and things like that and ankles. So seeing a swing mid-rally, it's a little bit of an interesting spot as to what warrants stoppage of play.
Grosso, you saw him on the set have to actually take a step in before taking a one-step approach. Malero helping up his teammate, get comforted during this process. And obviously, Gianluca Grosso, one of the most dynamic players in the NVA, so important to this Texas Tyrant squad. Of course, their team leader, not just one of their best players. And looks like he may stay out there.
He tightened up the laces in case he's unable to continue. But see, this is where it gets interesting because, he's not even subbing out here. So he's getting injured in the middle of a play, but that's going to be replayed. So
Grosso has been a fighter here in this first set. He got nailed in the nose on a block back and had to rub that off.
In case he has to be subbed out, just a quick rundown of options over there. We see Anthony Robinson and potentially Isaiah Afaji, who was setter last year and is an outside option for them this season.
They go to Tim Johnson, and I'll be run down by Sageman. Here's knee swinging away. Grosso's hands still work just fine. And Langlois, when you have a 6'10", former international player who could just do a little whip from the back row, it's almost like you're doing a floater in basketball.
So we're seeing a double sub come through. This is something that was used last year between Quinones and Afaji. Now we're going to see James Butters Anderson making his show on the court right now. Daniel Jacobs on the right side. This is a very, very comfortable move for the side of the Tyrants. We expect to see this. So see what Daniel Jacobs can get done front row.
Jacobs out of Burbank, California. Here's the serve, however, from Wesley Blotting. Down the line. Getting the kill is Sageman. Isaac Sageman adding another.
This is one of those things that while Grosso kind of loosens back up, gets a feel for how his ankle's doing, you see the experience of the setters on the Tyrants looking for other offensive options. But right there, maybe some of the mobility getting caught up, and a great serve by Garbowski down the line earns a true ace. Great point for the Untouchables.
Yeah, great ace from Garbowski, and now you have to question the mobility of Grosso. Is that enough to cause problems throughout this match for Texas? Valero, good pass. And a stuff on the outside is Jacobs. Gets rejected by Chicago. And the Untouchables aren't going away. Chicago found themselves down by 4. It's now a 1-point game.
Rachetti one-on-one as the setter there. Fantastic effort.
Grosso, that too tight to the net, carries Texas in for the violation, and we're all square at 17 all. and Texas is going to call a timeout.
Well, you gotta wonder, Grasso's battling through it. Anthony Robinson was someone that was a fantastic option to duo with him last year. Makes you wonder if they might look to that, or maybe he's a little rattled, but at the same time, we're seeing Untouchables really apply a lot of pressure right now that we weren't seeing in the first half of this set. So it's hard to tell whether it's kind of a chicken or the egg problem, but either way, look for Grasso to know what's best for his team, put the team first, and see how they decide to battle with this diversity.
And Grasso certainly is trying to play it off as if the injury's not bothering, but you could tell just by his mobility so far that there is some discomfort there. Obviously, they have some depth to go to, but you lose a ton in talent when he's not out in the court, not just because of his offensive abilities, but because of his passing abilities as well.
Yeah. And he's also just so established in this system as a leader, and they look to him, and there's a lot of confidence in having him on the court.
All square at 17. Langlois with a pass. They go outside to Jacobs, who gets the answer.
Anderson off of his back foot, battling with that pass from Langlois, able to absolutely shoot that one across the tape. Jacobs handles it well, gets to him a little low, but good management and tempo, well rewarded for the Tyrants.
Grasso with the serve. Robinson lays out for it. Here's Langlois, and he gets the kill. Here's Grasso off the tape. Trying to go over on two, but the Tyrants were ready for it. Here's Langlois. Grasso tracks that one down. Grasso from the back row, he looks just fine.
Certainly does. We've been wondering if how he's feeling, and there it is, showcasing he's feeling just fine. Big swing out of the pipe.
Maybe that ankle is not bothering him as much as we first thought. And the Tyrants have worked the lead out of the timeout, up to 20-17, 3 in a row. Grasso takes something off of that one. The Untouchables try to dump. Malero got crossed up.
Malero was honestly moving too fast there. He was hoping to catch that on his outstretched platform, but caught it inside and sprayed the ball backwards.
So Anderson will wipe up the remnants of Jose Malero.
We call that liquid effort.
So a side out for Chicago. They hand the ball to number 20, Noah Richetti. And that's a quick answer from Ryan Mountain.
Great recognition of where he was able to cut that back and sneak it down. Power tip comes through from Mountie.
So Mountie with his team clutching a 3-point lead. Chicago's come out game, got to give them credit. Tough 3-2 loss yesterday. They had ample opportunities to win that match.
Down by 3 here. See if they can find a nice pass and side out.
Nearly a free ball. The attack for Chicago. They get the touch. Sageman with another.
Feels like that was some of the misses Sageman was having earlier when we saw him hitting balls long. Couldn't quite find that high hand touch. Able to do so there off the hands of Daniel Jacobs. So definitely got to feel a lot better for him.
Here's Austin Neese. He's 24 years old. At a Purdue University Fort Wayne, the former Mastodon leaves it short. So they'll undo the double sub. Kionis and Johnson return. Thought Anderson did a good job quarterbacking the offense.
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience, not only playing but also coaching. He's worked out here in California before moving to Texas a couple months ago. Worked at Fullerton College and a variety of other places.
They go to Sageman. Reach out and stuff someone. Langlois and love it. And Chicago doesn't love it. They call a timeout.
You see a lot of the experience right there. We've talked about it before. Jake Langlois, someone that's spent plenty of time playing with Team USA on some of those VNL rosters and played in some of the top leagues all over the world. Right there, that's really where that experience comes through. Shuts down that big block on the side there. And great point for the Tyrants, forcing the timeout. 23-19. Feels like the sun might be setting here on this first set, Ira.
And you see these smiles on the Tyrants bench. Whatever was ailing them, they were able to work out during that 17-17 timeout. And Chicago, they just don't have the firepower this Texas squad does, so they have to be the more scrappy bunch of ones that don't let any balls drop and have to get some breaks along the way. It's easy to say that here sitting courtside.
Yeah.
The Tyrants aren't going to give you anything. There's too much talent there on the court to just try to shut down one or two people. It's got to be a full effort here. And at the end of the day, when you have a Jake Langlois and a Grasso as your two outsides with Tim Johnson and Lovett, and even now Ryan Mounty stepping his game up, I just don't see them losing too many sets this year when they can do that. Lovett with the stuff alongside Tim Johnson.
Back-to-back blocks. First off is Langlois, now it's Lovett doing a fantastic job as the inside trailing blocker drops into that seam and able to shut that down. Ragland unable to come up with a successful swing.
Set point number 1 for Quiones and company. Malero off the block. They backs it to Johnson, who buries it down the line. And the Tyrants, after being in a 17-17 race, storm back, and they score 7 in the last 9 points to win the opening game, 25-19. We'll send it to a break and come back for set number 2 here in
OSIM.
So, all right, I'm not sure if anybody heard what I said. I think I was still on mute. It's like a bad Zoom call, but the Untouchables did make one change. Danny Pereshkovov has re-entered the playing surface. Had a great effort yesterday, the product of Southern Pennsylvania by way of Russia. See if he makes a difference here after the Tyrants steamrolled towards the end of that first set. Nick scoring 7 of the final 9 points.
Yeah, and one of the things that I expect to see here more, like a team that's performing like the Tyrants, you don't really get to come out and kind of play a attempted control game. You've got to really give them everything you got. Try to find the big touches, take the big swings, and sometimes that means you get blocked or that you're gonna, miss a swing wide or long, miss some of your serves. But in order to compete, you're gonna have to make the big play.
So the Tyrants will have first serve here. Gianluca Grasso is still out on the court. Jake Langlois, who had 6 kills in the first set with the big swing. And Ragland misses long. To get an update on Grasso and his injury, we're sending to our third man on our crew, Noah Chast.
Yeah, guys, when I went and talked to Grasso and asked him what happened, and he said he just stepped on another teammate's shoe, rolled an ankle, and he'll be fine. And his teammates, a little bit jokingly, told me he's just being dramatic with a capital D.
Well, we want to make sure Grasso's healthy out there because he's so much fun to watch. Chicago with the roll, and the Tyrants are able to bring it back as Grasso laid out with some help from Tim Johnson, who ran it down. Grasso was able to get there. Johnson swinging away. And Pereshkovov with the dig. Ragland tools the block, and Tim Johnson walks away disappointed.
The right-handed Ragland actually hit 2 balls with his left hand during that rally, showcasing a variety of swings that he's able to make it happen. Battling over there on the side, and that's what I was talking about before that rally. You're going to have to compete and challenge the Tyrants' block. Well done by Ragland to earn the point there.
That's something I do in playing on the beach in Jersey or in pickup leagues. To see somebody do it professionally, use both hands, as Langlois puts that away. This is incredible range of skills at this level to be able to change hands midair with a block staring at your face.
Certainly is. Not many guys can do it, but Ragland making it work for him there.
Langlois continues to rack up the points. He serves. Hanging in the air and getting the back line for the kill is Danny Pereshkovov.
Barely tags the back line. Now that we have the challenge system, you can see a variety of guys looking around to see if that was challengeable, looking to the bench to check in or out. A lot of confirming nods from the bench to tell them, hey, that's in, no need to challenge.
Here's Grasso, elevates and puts it down over the outstretched hands of the setter Ricchetti. It's the biggest kill we've seen from Gianluca probably so far this season. Only had 4 kills in the opener, because he only had to swing 7 times. One more time, cross-court Pereshkovov, and you can see he get fired up.
That was a little bit of the firepower this team was missing in that first set. That was insane. He held himself in the air for what felt like an eternity. Swings that one into the angle and a well-earned point. Chicago Untouchables feeling like a little bit of resurgence of energy.
And that is too long. The service from Garbowski. Pereshkovov, 6'6", from Arcadia University in Pennsylvania. And we'll take a look at Tim Johnson, the Grandview University product out of Chicago. Just turned 25 years old in January, did Tim. From the back row, Langlois off the block for another winner. Jake Langlois, I just don't see how they have an answer for somebody like Jake.
You know, it's funny, at the end of last season when he was playing with the Utah Stingers, we saw him repeatedly foot faulting on attempted back row attacks. It might have happened 5 or 6 times on his last couple attempts of the season, but we've yet to see that happen at all. A great connection with Gabo Quinones, and his effectiveness is one that cannot be understated front row, but now it feels like that complete package is really well established. that pipe game or Bick attack, whatever you want to call it, is very much in effect and a critical part of this Tyrants offense.
So Tim Johnson is squad with a 6-3 lead. Leaves it short. Here is Ricchetti. Out of Barrington, Illinois. And that's making a lot out of very, very little. The initial pass was not on the money, but the set from Keown is enough to allow Mounty to put it away. Man, Ryan Mounty knows he probably got away with one there.
Yeah, that's where you really see the veteranship and experience in the middle coming through, knowing that the only chance he's got there is to try to wipe, get a touch, reset the ball. Great move by Mounty in the middle.
I thought the block went up a little bit early there, and that's why Mounty was able to capitalize. From the back row, Ragland swinging away. Grasso with the dig. Jake Langlois gets dug up. Here's Nice, and Grasso there. Johnson flies, but he misses long.
Man, what a rally from the Untouchables. Will Ragland finally getting activated in the back row. We talked about how important that was yesterday as one of the best Bick attacks in the league. Unfortunately, right now, we're seeing that Grasso and Langlois look like they might be even better. But I love to see the variety from Untouchables as they battle back from just 2 points down.
That's only the first error for Tim Johnson today. Langlois, bring that down, is Jordan Robbins in the libero. And off the hand for the kill, Danny Pereshkovov.
Ricchetti with an incredible serve. Didn't have any space to prevent himself from netting, so he goes face to net, able to hang that ball up above his head. Pereshkovov gets a great kill one-on-one against Langlois.
And here is Nice to serve. Jake Langlois just muscles that through. That's
Zachar Pasha comes down, and you can read his lips, and he says, I was so close. But unfortunately, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. You got to get a great block up if you're going to stop the likes of Jake Langlois.
So here is Mounty to serve. Tries to dump one in. Jordan Robinson runs it down. Here's Ragland. This is wide. That's his third attack error.
Swings that one into the stands there, but looking for some hands over the net. Disciplined blocking from the side of the Tyrants prevents anyone from going after that swing. Well-earned point, and Mounty continues his run.
Quick offense, and it will sail out of bounds. So credit the kill on the quick bit of work there for Pasha.
See the comment in chat there about the challenge system and how important it is. And once again, I touched on it earlier. I love that. Close ball, you see Mounty look to the bench to make sure that's out. Everyone confirms it is, and the guys play on. No need to argue or belabor the point.
Do you know that Phil guy? Seems like a very familiar name.
Not only do I know him, he's the former statistician, now abroad for the NVA, still supporting us, so love to see what he does and has continued to do for the league. We appreciate all of our staff, our volunteers, and of course the Pierce Sports Center that have given so much time and effort to make this event and the entire league a reality, because the U.S. deserves a quality pro league.
I forgot to mention he's your brother.
I think I said that. If not, shout out.
Where is Phil now?
He's in Bali. Moved other side of the world. So he is right now watching us at an ungodly hour, supporting and making sure things are working abroad.
Bali, like the island in Indonesia?
That's the one.
What the heck? Hey Siri, what time is it in Bali? As the Tyrants serve away, they lead 10-8. Ragland tries to set up his teammate, and he gets stuffed. Langlois and Lovett shut down Pereshkovov.
Lead at 3 is kind of that break point that I think if you go much more than this, Tyrants feels like they might be uncatchable.
Ragland Here's Langlois trying to counter. Laying out for that one was Chicago. Ragland again, and he gets the touch. Great effort by Ricchetti for Chicago to lay out to extend that play, and then Ragland with the payoff.
Such great vision and recognition there by Ricchetti. Sees the tip over the top coming and knows if it's not him, no one's going to make that happen. Fantastic one-handed punch to bring that back into the court and allow Chicago Untouchables one more chance.
By the way, if you're curious, it is currently 12:45 a.m. in Bali, so they have a 15-hour time difference. 12:44 a.m. tomorrow, Monday.
The work week has begun.
Well, not at 12:44 a.m. Hope not. And that service is off the court by Pereshkabov. Here is Jake Langlois. Goes deep and couldn't find the court.
Based on the timing, when you said, here is Jake Langlois, all I could think of as I watched the ball sail past is, and there he goes.
Ragland, who had a pair of aces yesterday, the product of Eastern Mennonite University in Southwest Virginia. Tim Johnson got a miss hit there. Saw it come off his hand kind of funny.
These are some of my favorite interactions. When you see a potentially challengeable play, everyone getting used to it. So people are sometimes trying to goad each other into challenging when they know it wouldn't go the way of the challenging team. Ragland there serves that one into the net, though, and that's going to be Gabo Quinones now to serve for the Tyrants.
13-11 lead for Texas. They won the first set 25-19. Here's Austin Lovett. Robinson with the pass. This allows Pereshkabov to drop bombs.
Detonation down the sideline. That D-ball absolutely on fire there for Pereshkabov.
So Chicago cuts it to 1 for Garbowski to serve. From the back row, the tip by Langlois. Chicago read it.
And
one more time, Pereshkabov.
Felt like we just watched an instant replay of the exact same swing. That high line angle, able to find a kill there in that Langle seam. Now Grasso with a little strategic shoe tie. See if he can slow things down as we are tied up at 13 apiece.
Pereshkabov will likely be, even with missing the first set today, among the league leader in kills when this first weekend of the season comes to a close. Tim Johnson with the swing. Garbowski got enough of it to keep it alive, and then it's run down by Ragland. Grasso, and there's a net violation on Texas.
An attempted lob route there. We see it from time to time where Grasso really relies on his speed and athleticism, but net's there, and this is going to be a lead for the Chicago Untouchables. They're starting to get a little loud, rowdy, and find their footing here. Texas Tyrants need to get back in control.
Backs at the Johnson. That is run down by Chicago. Knee swinging away, and he misses wide. And the point to Texas breaks.
And here comes the challenge.
Well, the Untouchables have never won a challenge in the NVA. Will this be the moment where it happens?
I had zero view on whether that was close or not, but they clearly felt a way about it. Now, this is one of those balls that, because the score is so close, this could be critically helpful for the Untouchables if they're able to find this one back. Our technology is now working here on the sideline, so we're going to have some accurate info coming at you as we see updates here on how this system works.
And Untouchables coach Andrew Lee says he's 98% confident in this challenge, which is probably higher than all of his challenges yesterday.
Combined.
Now, it turns 12 o'clock twice a day, so he's got to be right eventually.
It's a brand new day for Andrew Lee as a challenging coach.
And the Chicago Untouchables are on the board in the challenge stat column. Andrew Lee celebrating on the sideline after winning a challenge for the first time. Again, regardless of his one-loss record on challenges, nothing was as bad as what we saw from Freedom head coach Justin Beaumont yesterday. The self-anointed worst challenge in the history of the NVA.
Certainly is, and that's going to be a fun stat. You know, we talk about hitting percentages. How are teams doing from the service line? Well, Coach Andrew Lee is now 1 for 5, batting a solid 20%. I think that's going to put him on the lower end of the challenging coaches, so he's certainly got competition.
Goes over on one. Chance here for Texas to try to counter. Grosso, wow, he just threw it off of the chest of Ricchetti, it looks like.
Chest or face, either way, not the hands, and certainly not the way you want to contact that. Looks like it was an eye, maybe got him with the contact there. Grosso was just returning the shot that he took earlier, trying to block that exact same the exact same dump.
It's 15 all as Tim Johnson drops back. Locked back, Robinson covers. Knee swinging away, and that is too long. 16-15, the Tyrants on top. And that will take us to our technical timeout here in game number 2. Come back for more here at the Pierce Sports Center.
OSIM.
So here is Ricchetti to serve. Tim Johnson buries it to give the Tyrants back a 17-16 lead. So here is Grosso to serve. Flips off the tape that it handcuffs Chicago. Ragland tries to set up his teammates, blocked back. Swinging away is Nice. Tim Johnson goes back corner and laying out for that one is Ragland. Nice runs him down to poke it over Jake Langlois. And then Grosso from the back row, he gets stuffed by the hands of Zachary Pasha.
Huge recognition there on the block of the Untouchables. They know that the only option there is going to be a pipe set to Grosso. They get a triple block set up and take advantage of the situation they earn for themselves and tie us up at 17 apiece.
So the Untouchables contending here in this second set, but they left it short, does Nice.
Apologies on the visual feed lacking there. We are trying to bring you back right now.
And that is Missed wide by Pereshkovov, and that gives Texas the 19-17 lead. Here's Ryan Mounty. Tried to dump it in and left it well short. Posh to the serve. Langlois, nice pass to set up Tim Johnson, and Johnson couldn't get the touch. You see him trying to get the hands of Ragland, and was unsuccessful. That's the third attack here for Tim Johnson.
Yep, discipline blocking from Chicago right now is forcing some of those fringe swings that are a little bit harder to connect on. Working well for them as they've taught us back at 19s.
In the win on Friday, reach out and stuff someone. Big hands, puts it down, does Camille Karbowski. Oh my goodness.
Camille absolutely showing up for that block. Lovett did not get stopped at all yesterday against the Blaze. Cannot handle the size and presence there of Garbowski.
It's his third attack error. I was saying before the impressive block that Johnson had 13 kills in the win in 3 sets coming on Friday. And to do that in 3 sets is what's notable, because they didn't have this extra time to play with that some of these other teams who went 4 and 5 did. Majority of the matches this weekend have gone past 3 games. I'm going to wipe up some of the perspiration out there on the court. And we apologize for the technical problem where we may have show you a couple points off of the timeout, but Texas, anytime they get challenged here by Chicago, especially later in the set, seems to just will down and let their athleticism take over. And Kionis, an over ball, he'll get the ace. And the Tyrants, tied 20-20, able to untie it again. Now we saw at the end of game 1, it was 17-all. They called timeout, recomposed themselves, and then scored 7 in the last 9. Be interesting to see what they do here in the final 5.
Wow, we are seeing Denny Pereshkovov really showing up. His size, his power, it's really paying off for Chicago Untouchables right now, and he's been an integral part of bringing this to a close 21-21 race. You know, when you see 20-20, that's something that's so common. You see teams train that kind of race to 5 mentality, training yourself to be clutch in high pressure situations, mitigate errors, and it is in full effect right now. Unfortunately, a chop shot there from Langlois, unable to be controlled by Ricchetti as he comes across the court, finds him kind of in the chest and up high, and that's going to be a nice little chop kill for Langlois.
It's a smart spot for Langlois to stick it. His team up 1, he serves. Pereshkovov hanging in the air. Molero pinballs it back off the shoulder and sends it over. And then Tim Johnson with the block back. Here's Ragland. He gets blocked back. 4th chance here for Chicago. Ragland goes cross court. It comes over on 1. They want Ragland again, and he's able to change direction and tool the block.
Will Ragland is absolutely relentless and refuses to go down without earning that point. A quick note, we see some questions in the chat about what the NVA really is. Stick around during this timeout. We'll give you a full breakdown of everything you need to know about the National Volleyball Association. But until then, we're back in the action.
22-22, late here in game 2. Molero for the dig. They go to Grasso, cross court, and he missed it wide. Here's Ragland serving. His team up 1 late. Johnson, Jordan Robinson lays out for the dig. Here's Ragland from the back row, gets the spot for the winner, and the Untouchables have a pair of set points in their pocket. And the Tyrants will utilize their first timeout. Can they will their ways back one more time?
24-22. The Untouchables' energy is electric. And I got to say, I am extremely impressed by Denny Paraskovov's return to the court. Cool, coming off a little cold from not playing set one, coming in set two. But the energy and the relentless pursuit by Will Ragland in the back row, in the front row, it's hard not to be motivated if you're on the court playing alongside of him. Definitely bringing the energy and making his teammates match him there, and it's paying off. The question is, how long can he keep that level of play up? We saw it yesterday against Blaze, but doing that 2 matches in a row is quite the task.
So Ragland will serve for the set. If the Untouchables are able to send this to 4, will be an impressive feat, considering how dominant the Tyrants were over LA on Friday, and the fact that LA beat Chicago yesterday in the opener. Malero nearly got his head taken off there on that serve reception. Chicago trying to capitalize. That's a 10-foot line violation. No, it's a net error on the Tyrants. And Chicago has taken game number 2, 25-22. A bit of a surprise here, but we are going to at least go for it.
All right, we're going to take a quick look at the schedule for today. And you can see there we've got matches happening every 4 hours. We've got every 3 hours, apologies, and we've got 6 events that comprise our season.
I'll do a
so
camera
that's
hit
going to
before
be
we start the
3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for every single one of our events. So today you can see up next we've got the Utah Stingers taking on the Dallas Tornadoes, and after that at 3 o'clock we're going to have the OC Stunners taking on Team Freedom. And our Sunday 6 o'clock match is the Las Vegas Ramblers taking on the Homers, the Inland Empire Matadors. Now, in terms of details for the league, you can always check us out at NVAUSA.com or all major social medias. We've got Instagram, TikTok. We've got our own app, both on the Apple and the Android store, so be sure to check it out. If you see a team that you might like, be sure to check out NVAUSA.shop. We've got a variety of ways for everyone to get involved. We've got a little bit more, but before we go there, we're going to toss it over to our sideline reporter, Noah Chast. Noah, take it away.
Well, Nick, it's no surprise that the Untouchables are in this game. Yesterday when I was speaking to Austin Neese in the post-game press conference, he told me they want to be that blue-collar team that's scrappy and that fights. And maybe that's part of that Midwest, or really even with this team, that East Coast toughness, that they want to be in every game and they don't care if they're maybe outmatched or outsized or outfought. Well, they'll never be outfought. They'll put in everything they have, and that's why it's no surprise that they're in this game and it's tied up right now 1-1. And I wouldn't be surprised if they can maybe eke this one out, because they're a team that likes to put in that extra effort.
Thank you for that.
And,
Back on us, look at that. But I'm not happy right now with the hitting percentage for either of these teams. As we get you set here for game number 3, the Untouchables and the Tyrants. I mean, the box score doesn't lie right now, Nick. And 31% for the Untouchables, 29% for the Tyrants. These teams have too many weapons to be hitting at such a low rate today.
Yeah, I think what it really comes down to is disciplined blocking, and when you see that, both teams getting a lot of terminal blocks, a lot of great block touches, and what that means is longer rallies. That means a lot of digs. That's going to mean zeros for both sides on the offensive attempts. When I say a zero, what that means is you either normally think of a kill or an error from the offensive attempts. A zero is when you swing and a ball is dug on the defensive side. So what that means is when you're figuring out hitting attempts and things like that, you're factoring in how many attempts a hitter hits as well as how many kills or errors they're hitting. So when those hitting percentages are watered down, it's because those zeros are being factored in there. To briefly call back, like I said, you know, there's plenty of information to find out on our Quest for the Cup series that comes out every week on YouTube. Be sure to check that out, as well as learn more about the 12 teams that represent our league that cover the entire country, from Seattle to Southern California to Florida, Texas, New Jersey, Chicago, Utah, Las Vegas, everywhere in between, and always growing. So plenty of opportunities. Make sure to follow your local team. If you're a player that thinks you have what it takes, reach out to those squads. Let them know you're interested. Be sure to have your player resume as well as some footage. And teams are always looking to add the best pieces from their regions. So plenty of ways to get involved. But more importantly, be a fan of the league, as we all are here. Share. Let everyone at home know what's going on. Share the experience you have. Invite some friends over. Set up a viewing party at your local favorite restaurant. Plenty of ways to make volleyball a mainstay here in the U.S. sports scene.
And as Nick said, we play 12 matches over the course of the weekend. Teams play 2 out of the 3 days today, this weekend, and then the final weekend in July is all divisional play, as these teams are competing this morning in National Central action. But we'll return here to California the weekend of May 6th, 7th, and 8th. That is Mother's Day weekend. Bring your mom, bring your friends, as we'll be back on the court for our second event of the season. Third event will be Memorial Day weekend. It'll be the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And then Father's Day weekend in June is the 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then we'll wrap up the regular season July 8th, 9th, and 10th before the championship weekend comes your way, beginning with the quarterfinals on August 5th. As we are underway here, game number 3 in San Bernardino. I'm Ira Thor. He is the hunk Nick England, as they have deemed you in the chat. And of course, Noah Chast, the third member of our crew, Matt Prosper, will join us for match number 2. Tim Johnson elevates and destroys.
I think, we love talking about a variety of stats here to really help understand the game. I think I see my favorite stat in the chat right now, that since Paraskovov has returned, Chicago Untouchables wins 100% of the time against the Texas Tyrants. We'll see if they can continue that impressive stat here.
That is blocked back, and that's why you're seeing some 0 attacks. But Tim Johnson says 0 this. Bombs away.
Once again, love answering the questions in the chat. Questions are, where are these guys from, D1 to D3? Absolutely. There's D1, D2, D3, NAIA, international guys, people that are currently a part of the USA national program, guys that have been a part of it, former Olympians representing 6 different countries. We have the best talent in the world, and especially here in the U.S., and we're determined to make this league a mainstay. This is our 5th season, started back in 2017, so if you're just tuning in, don't worry, we're not going anywhere.
Paraskovov with the kill. He'll drop back to serve. And it just goes to show just how much talent there is in this country. There's not a ton of Division I programs, and because of that, and because of other obligations as well, sometimes guys have to play at lesser-known schools. But there is talent everywhere across the U.S. and the world, and we're happy to have much of it here in the NVA. The sport is growing exponentially in Division III. Those are all smaller schools in the NCAA that not as many folks know. But in Division I, it's starting to pick up some steam on the East Coast. Seen a lot of teams added in recent years. Jake Langlois, a rare error from the former BYU great.
Paraskovov does a great job, gets his right foot all the way to that line, makes sure that he knows where that ball is going to land so he doesn't touch it, lets it go out. Rewarded for his defensive discipline there. And now Raglan, one of the best servers and the heart and soul of this Chicago team, comes back, see if he can get something going. And get something going he does. He forces an overpass that Quinones nets, trying to save.
And the Tyrants locked here in a battle now, 4-4, as Raglan will continue to serve. Too long. Now, of course, our last match of the day, Nick England will not be broadcasting because he will be on the court. So those of you who have not seen Nick play,
we'll see. There's a little more depth now for the Rambler roster, so likely on the bench, hopefully, but time will tell.
First time I've heard somebody say, hopefully on the bench, referring to themselves, as that is a net violation on Lovett. Correction, that's on Mountie. So here will be Zachary Pasha to serve. The Untouchables 5-5.
Formerly the third middle option behind Mountie and Lovett last season for the Tyrants.
Good pass by Langlois. Langlois on the receiving end and is able to dump it in the middle of the court. So Mountie will drop back to serve. Robinson with the pass. They go to Neese, and he's able to tool the block. Jordan Robinson getting the start at libero today. Yesterday, it was Ben Cartwright getting the nod. I actually know Jordan personally because we worked together at the same university in New Jersey, where he's the head women's volleyball coach. New Jersey City University in Jersey City. These guys do have day jobs, folks. Langlois down the line with authority.
Another quick question I see in the chat: if this is a neutral court or a home court. So technically, the Inland Empire Matadors, this is their home court. However, this is the mainstay for the NVA. In order for us to provide the best production value and a consistent product, for now we've opted to use the Pierce Sports Center, as they are such an ardent supporter of the league and everything we're doing. So for now, you can expect to see us here live for every single event in the 2022 season.
Free ball sent over here after a scrappy play by Chicago. Langlois tries to tip it in. They go right side, powered through by Neese. That's not an easy task trying to get over Langlois and Lovett, but he was able to power it through.
A little more liquid effort comes out, and Chicago's got to make sure they get that all cleaned up so no one slips or hurts themselves. It's one of the few things that can lead to some pretty bad injuries when you see them come down. So getting all the moisture off the court is empirical.
So the court maintenance is complete, and they'll hand the ball to Neese. Leaves it short.
Neese is putting up some really high tosses, and I think that they've been fairly inconsistent for him today. Yesterday, he was applying a ton of pressure from the service line. He has not quite found his mojo. We'll see if that changes.
That is left short, so back-to-back errors. Rare one from Langlois. That is left short, 3 in a row. Whew.
This is always one of the tough parts. You know, for anyone that's not as familiar with volleyball, I know it's always a bit aggravating or slow to watch this part of the game. The unfortunate reality is it's much like tennis, that if you're not putting enough pressure on the serve, it's not worth hitting the serve at all. So you've really got to walk that fine line.
Big block, Russo and Mountie.
Spectator tickets are available for all events here. You can buy them by the day or by the event. If you're not sure, check us out on NVA USA, on Instagram, anything like that. You can find all details there.
Ragland able to power it through for the answer for Chicago. The Untouchables not going away. You know, this has become a much more competitive match than I think either of us expected, especially with Chicago losing yesterday and having to make a quick turnaround. Tyrants being so dominant in day one, I thought this very well could have been a 3-0 sweep, but the Untouchables are saying this is why every day is a new day. The side out goes over to Tim Johnson, his team clutching a 2-point lead. So here's Tim Johnson. Big serve from Johnson. Ragland. He gets stuffed. Kionis and Mountie. Johnson decapitates a teammate.
Man, the serving has just fallen off for both of these teams. See if they can get it back on the rails. This is one of those opportunities. You always call missed serves like a free point. So we'll see if either one of these teams decides that it's time to just stop missing and take advantage of the opponent's, poor serving prowess.
And by the way, if you ever wonder why guys have their hands on the back of their heads during a jump serve, you saw exactly why in that last play with Mounty getting hit, and then Quiones with a rare ball handling error.
The other thing that doesn't get talked about too much, or we haven't talked about here, is what we call stacking or screening. So you'll see that all three players in the Chicago Untouchables next to each other, they're standing between the server and the passer there.
Grosso dropping dynamite. And that's a resounding side out for Grosso and company. Incredible. You leave him one-on-one, it's almost like hitting lines. And leaves it short here on the serve, however.
Earlier, I touched briefly on the screening. Something to watch for as a fan. It's just kind of one of those less seen, harder to understand if you're not looking for it. Watch the way that the three players at the net and sometimes the two players behind them stack up. What they'll do is place themselves between the server behind them and the passing target in front of them. It makes it incredibly difficult to see through guys. They'll have their arms up, and it gives you less time to react.
Mounty swinging away, dug up by Chicago. Here is the attack by Nice. It finds the court for the block for the Tyrants. Quiones and Mounty teaming again. Third block of the set for the Tyrants. And they will make a change. Bring back in Pereshkovov. And also, the second sub I missed who it was. Pereshkovov certainly was a big part of that win. And then Jake Langlois' ruthless aggression.
That is two huge swings in a row into the angle from the outsides. Grosso and Langlois both showing their prowess and ability to unload on a variety of shots.
Left short by a very disappointed Ryan Mounty.
Man, I love the level of play we're getting to see when these teams are making their serves. I'm begging you guys, slow it down just a tad, get these serves in, find a bit more control. Let's see the rallies.
Here is Ricchetti to serve. Quiones goes to Langlois, puts it away, and he looks back at the court as he puts his team up 16-13. And that sends us to our third set tactical timeout. We'll go to break, come back for more as the Untouchables looking for the upset. They down by 3.
OSIM.
Johnson. And he left it short. Basket is served. He leaves it short. 18-16, the Tyrants hanging on to a 2-point lead here in game 3. Texas won the first one, 25-19. Chicago with the second set surprise, 25-22. Here's Austin Lovett.
And we are back. Thanks for your patience with that technical difficulties on our end. Apologies, but you guys giving us the instant feedback makes sure we know exactly what's going on. Appreciate you guys in the chat. And we're glad to have some active engagement today. Always makes watching this kind of stuff a lot more fun.
Ragland misses, takes out our cameraman on the sideline. And Lovett will continue to serve. That is blocked back. Robinson keeps it alive, sent over by Ricchetti. They go to Grosso, hangs in the air. He gets stuffed one-on-one by Danny Pereshkovov.
Pereshkovov feels like the world of difference here. His ability to slow the game down, find important kills. Man, he is just the right side answer that feels like Chicago is able to hang in there as he's on the court.
Here is Pereshkovov to serve. Langlois lays out for that one. Grosso got blocked back again. They go to him one more time. Different approach. Robinson there to cover. And Grosso returning the favor, stuffing back Danny Pereshkovov, and he is worse for wear. And I think he took that block back in the face.
Yeah, we've seen an uncharacteristic amount of blocks and swings going to headshots today. I think that's the third of the match. Pereshkovov trying to get a little bit of vision and control back. Coach Andrew Lee is going to give him an opportunity by calling a timeout as Chicago goes down by 3.
Yeah, he's going to need a second to recover the entire left side of his face. You can tell it's flush right now. Grosso got stuffed, kept swinging, and this time Pereshkovov was victimized on the other way. You saw the replay.
You know, I've got to say, the one thing that really surprises me here, there was some discussions after we saw the Blaze Chicago match and how close that was the other day. It was hard to know what to expect here. But this Chicago team is only about a third of the roster that we're going to expect to see later on. I haven't heard any rumblings that Tyrants are expecting to upgrade beyond what we see here. And I don't honestly know what pieces they would add that upgrades this roster much. So Chicago showing a lot of heart and grit here. Pretty optimistic to see what pieces might get added and still really send this this team upwards in the standings.
So the timeout to allow Pereshkovov to regain his composure, and we'll see Anderson come in to serve. And he misses badly. So that side out goes to Chicago. They're still within this one, Nick, down 2, 20-18.
They certainly are. And Will Ragland back is one of the best options here. We'll see if he's able to control the chaos of the power he puts on this serve.
Malero lays out to save that one, and then the one-on-one rejection. The big hands of Zakir Pasha.
Pasha doing a fantastic job of being disciplined, grabbing that, not netting, and just defending it all the way to the floor, taking his former teammate, Ryan Mounty, who gives him some appreciation under the net, says, good work, man.
Here's Ragland to serve, trying to tie it up. That goes over on one. Chicago throws it back. Russell will just dump it. Oh, that was a mistake. Ricchetti makes them pay.
That is a heads-up play that yesterday we saw Jake Langlois bury a ball that came over unexpectedly and now comes right back at him.
And we are all square at 20 all. Langlois with a good pass and a quick answer for Ryan Mounty and company. Mounty is pumped up.
Will Ragland doing his job there, though, gets 2 points, gets the Untouchables at least even for a moment, and now they're ready to head into the late stage of this game. Once again, that 20-20 race, well in effect and underway here.
Rosso, huge serve. Valero, that's why he's one of the best libs in the league. And Jake Langlois in reverse, tried to tip it from behind his head. And an inadvertent whistle, they're gonna replay this.
Right there, Ryan Mounty looked like he netted at the bottom of the tape. That indicated a whistle blow. However, it was in fact the ball. The ref saw that, but had already indicated a blown whistle, which means the play must stop and will replay that point.
Big serve by Grosso, that goes up into the ceiling. Knee swinging away and left it short. And the Tyrants, after being challenged here at 20-all, have pushed ahead 22-20. And the Untouchables are going to use their final timeout.
See a quick question in the chat asking about the Untouchables and their travel experience. The unfortunate reality this weekend was a lot of the East Coast teams traveling, meaning New Jersey Freedom, Chicago Untouchables. We saw a little bit of issue for Southern Exposure out of Florida. There were massive delays and flight cancellations for unknown reasons. So a lot of these teams did not get even half of their rosters here, and we're having to make sure, sometimes at the cost of thousands of additional dollars, to make sure certain key parts of their rosters were making it, were able to make an appearance. It really speaks to the commitment of these rosters that they were determined to be well represented on the court. Even if it wasn't their full roster, they knew how important it was to get their key pieces here.
Year number 5 of the league. The players don't have fancy charter flights
just yet.
Jinx. Double jinx. Grosso's serving again. And that is blocked back, but Chicago able to cover off of the net. They go to knees and he drops in a gift for Chicago in front of the sprawling Langlois. Hard to do that in front of the 6'10" player, but Untouchable side out here, a chance to tie. Yeah, I'm flying in from New Jersey for these events, so always the chance that you lose me and you got to do this solo, Nick.
Oh man, I don't miss those days.
Over on 2. Jacobs, a little miscommunication sent over by Anderson. Nice tries to roll it, Anderson covers. And Langlois with the line roll. And a broken play. The Untouchables cannot capitalize. They had a chance to tie it. And now the Tyrants with a little separation, 23-21.
One of those scrappy plays that it always looks a little sloppy, but everyone's just battling to get back in control, see if they're able to right their own ship on their side of the net. And in that case, Texas Tyrants able to fend off the Untouchables.
So 23-21, 2 away from the set for Texas. Oh. Reach out and stuff someone. Austin Lovett and Jacobs as well. Whew. A monster stuff in a big moment for Texas. They have 3 set points.
The veteranship of the Texas Tyrants coming through right now.
The dump on 2, sneaky, Mr. Ricchetti.
I'm enjoying seeing how physical of a setter he is. He's not afraid to put up a big block, gotten several kills on dumps, throwing stuff back. That's his 3rd or 4th kill on the dump right now, and it's working well for Untouchables.
Set point number 2, Noah Ricchetti to serve. I don't think that ever went over. And the officials puts his 4 fingers in the air to let us know that this will now be set point number 3, and the Untouchables trying to stave off another and tie this at 24. Back row, Grosso finds the court. The power from the back ends it. And the Tyrants survive here in game number 3, 25-23. We'll take a break and come back for our fourth set. Live here, our first match of the day in San Bernardino.
OSIM.
Back here courtside at the Pierce Sports Center, Ira Thor and Nick England. Let's hear from the third member of our crew, Noah Chast.
Well, I was over on the Tyrant bench or by the Tyrant bench, and they said they just need to calm down. They're well in this game. They're competing. It's a tough, untouchable team, but they need to be in control. And in terms of changing how they're going to operate a little bit, they told their middles on these tight passes inside the 10-foot line, just go up and set it. That'll make things a little bit easier for them in transition, running their offense. And then they just need to talk. If the middle's taking that set, let them know. Swing high, off the hands, cross, angle, that type of thing. So just, again, stay calm and play the way they know they can.
Awesome to hear. A lot of context given there, Noah. Well done. Love to hear that. To answer some questions we see in chat about the level of competition here, I have been pleasantly surprised given the travel issues we've had, as well as many teams, especially when you look at the OC Stunners, Las Vegas Ramblers. The majority of their starters play on overseas contracts, and they are currently still participating in the playoff sides in leagues like Romania, Switzerland, Germany, a variety of, we've got Spain, countries all over the world. So those athletes are not yet back. So you can expect to see by events 2 and 3 these rosters in full effect. Additionally, with the NCAA season still under effect, though the senior class is not yet available, but you can expect to see a variety of players joining the league there as well. We've seen players that have been a part of Team USA, such as Jake Langlois. Last year we had both the liberos Josh Eisenberg as well as Kyle D'Agostino with stints on the national team. We've seen Corey Chavers, players on other national teams like Joey Jarvis, who's been a part of the Canadian national team. We've just had so much representation. The Mexican national team represented by the likes of Mauro Isek from the Matadors last year. Jesus Serrano setting now for the Blaze, just so much international talent. So while the level of play continues to increase, we're not yet as high as some of those top leagues all over the world, but you can be assured we're well on our way.
Oh, Jake Langlois is well on his way here in set number 4, just depositing that one. I look at Jake Langlois, and it's like he's not even putting any effort. He's so good.
Yeah, it is slow as, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That guy just goes slow to fast on everything he does, sees it so well. His vision's impeccable, and it makes him such a force offensively.
And that one is left short. Nothing you can do if you're Kamil Grabowski, as that one is behind him. couldn't recover, and the Untouchables find themselves in a 2-0 hole. They go back to Raglan. Jonas was there for the pass. Look at Langlois with the roll shot. Oh, tricky,
man.
tricky. Off of the hands. Tereshkovov couldn't keep it on the court. And just, you look at Jake Langlois, and I was talking about it, he looks effortless out there sometimes. Just so smart. And it still boggles my mind how late in life he picked up the game.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see. This is such an experience-based game, and he got the right experience at the right time.
Helps being 6'10". Of course, Grasso, that one's not coming back either. From the back row, Texas has come out with a mission here. In the fourth set, they have a 4-0 lead.
They are certainly playing like they feel the score of set number 3 was unacceptable in their eyes, and they're determined to make a statement here in the fourth and see if they can just put an end to this match.
Here's Kionis to serve. And there's an answer. Tereshkovov with the result.
Man, his line swing is impressive. I still want to see this team try to utilize him more. So many opposites in the league that are so competitive definitely take a heavy load in the offensive responsibilities. I want to see them use him more.
Tim Johnson with the whip.
Asking ye shall receive the D-ball set back to Tereshkovov. Woo, big kill on the backside once again.
And Danny takes off so far from the net. And, you know, unlike some players, the OC Stunners, obviously, with Jair Santiago, you see him leap and actually almost land at the net.
Yep.
You know, Tereshkovov is content with taking off and just getting a good whip and some elevation to try to make it hard on these blockers along the pin. See him do it again. This time he goes cross court.
Oh my goodness,
Sticks
3 for
the corner.
3. Sometimes it, it feels rewarding when you say something and you see it come to fruition there, but I could not agree more with the set selection right now with Rachetti doing a fantastic job. Feed the hot hand. But we got a little bit more context coming from the sideline. Noah, take it away.
Well, that was Tereshkovov's 10th kill, and granted, he did not play in that first set. No one else in the Untouchables even has 5 kills, so he is clearly being that impact player for this team.
We appreciate that insight. I actually don't have Tereshkovov on my stat sheet.
Make it 11.
Because they have so many players on the roster. The Untouchables, I mean,
goes off the bottom of our
data volley stat sheet. So
like
I've been trying to keep track in my head, but it's just impossible with his efficiency today. But yes, Tereshkovov is the hot hand. Raglan has to step his game up. If they're going to be victorious, he needs to be more involved offensively. That one is too long.
And I certainly agree with you. Now, when we talk about offensive schemes, the importance of a right side being established, especially for an undersized outside such as Raglan, this is going to cause the blockers on the Tyrants to pay more respect to Tereshkovov and give Raglan a chance to swing against less blockers.
Raglan runs that one down. Chance for Texas to counter. Oh, Grasso destroys it.
Jeez. That momentum and energy of Tereshkovov answered quickly by Grasso, the USC alumni by way of OCC, Orange Coast College here in Orange County.
Jake Langlois goes after Raglan. Raglan to swing away. He gets blocked back. Raglan a second time. And just a quick power tip from Grasso to terminate the play. And a 7-4 lead for the Tyrants.
Whatever momentum felt like was being established for Chicago Untouchables quickly ousted by the Tyrants.
Chicago tries to go over on 2, and Raglan avoids the triple block for the kill.
It's crucial that he keeps taking the swings even when he's getting blocked. The Chicago Untouchables are doing a great job of covering and extending the rally, and Ragland's got to keep taking swings like he is.
And an ace for Ragland, his first ace of the day, his third of the season.
Man, these teams are battling little runs here and there, 2 and 3 points. Very uncharacteristic that it's not just 1 point at a time, but they are feeling it, and their ability to battle back is impressive.
Another big serve. Valero had to lay out, but Tim Johnson says enough. Sticks it right in the middle of the court.
What a treat to start off our Sunday. This is really showcasing some high-level play. I love to see it. I hope Chicago is able to hang in there and keep battling with the Tyrants, who are so hot right now.
Here's Lovett. And they had to get Kamil Garbowski more involved, and they called his number, and Garbowski puts it away.
Man, we are seeing so much discipline from Ricchetti. Didn't set yesterday. We saw Moises Lopez at the helm, but that's the third set that Ricchetti has gone face to net and found his hitters. Well done.
Another big serve for Chicago. Oh, and Grasso, he is heating up.
Grasso is just an impressive offensive feat on the left side. Langlois is obviously overbearing at 6'10", but Grasso's explosive whip of an arm is such a treat to get to watch.
And he clearly has rubber ankles because there was absolutely no damage to that injury in game number 1. Johnson now come over on 1. Chance for the Tyrants to run something. Grasso gets dug, however. Nice off the high hands.
What a lip down the line by 99. Pareskevov sticks in there, 2 hands open, and just paddles that ball in.
Here's Noah Ricchetti to serve. Johnson through the block.
Johnson answering critically at a very important moment there. Nice high swing, challenging the block. Love to see that court vision from him.
So here is Grasso. Takes a deep breath as he'll toss his high towards the court. Left it short, however.
9-10 now. Austin Neese, someone that struggled to get his serve going the way he wants today, but had a ton of success yesterday. Good opportunity for him to kind of make some meaningful corrections here. Let's see how it goes.
They go to Langlois. He gets blocked back by Pareskevov. Tim Johnson tries to roll it over. Robinson pops it up. Ragland runs it down and swings. Grasso from the back row, but Ricchetti was there. And it's stuffed down, but collected off the net. Good defense by Chicago. 4th chance, and a blocking error ends it. Zachar Pasha is into the net. Our officiating crew signifies.
Oh man, there it is. Zachar Pasha trying to get clarification on who was called in the net because he knows he didn't. Once he got clarification, the call was on Will Ragland. The team was able to determine no challenge needed. But what a rally. These teams are going at it.
Yeah, I thought it was on Pasha. And Ragland was the guilty party. Wasn't even involved in the play. From the back row, Grasso, Robinson with the dig. Here's Nice swinging away. Tim Johnson got handcuffed.
Wow. Oh no, we're seeing a little bit of a limp here. Ricchetti not feeling great. Something happened there on the thigh potentially, maybe a knee. Hard to tell, but well done to step into the net there by Pareskevov. There was an overpass. Langlois tried to throw down that he just kept alive. Robinson controlling the back court as well. Love to see it.
They go to the middle, and a solo stuff for Chicago by Kamil Garbowski.
After losing several middles like Matt Buffum, Tom Burrell, Tall Paul Bolanzik, there was a big hole for Chicago to fill in the middle, and Kamil Garbowski making himself a mainstay in this roster.
And of course, all 3 of those players you mentioned now playing for New Jersey Freedom. We'll see them later today. Oh, the big swing. by Ragland. And then the answer from Langlois. Dirty deeds.
My goodness, a bump set from Grasso, 25 feet out of the back of the court. Hit by Langlois like it's a perfect in-system set. That is absolutely absurd. If you want to know what top-level volleyball looks like, this is it at its very best. This is one of the best matches I can recall seeing here in the NVA.
That's a clip we need to throw on every social platform. We have Langlois' utter destruction there.
Followed up by a miss serve, but you mentioned every social platform. Once again, if you're not, be sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and all major social media platforms. We love bringing you all sorts of content all year round. YouTube's got things like our Quest for the Cup mini-series YouTube shorts coming out daily with small videos and clips to show you the very best the NVA has to offer.
They go to Tim Johnson, and he gets stuffed back. Combo stuffed there by Ricchetti and Garbowski. And Chicago, they're staying right in this. They now lead 13-12.
The right side impact cannot be understated. Paraskovov, as well as Ricchetti, they're getting block touches, digs, covers, out-of-system swings for effect. The right side feels like the answer and the difference maker for Chicago right now.
This might come over on one. Ragland tried to whip it back, and Johnson can't save it. And the Untouchables have built themselves a 2-point lead.
That's a back row attack. What that means is Gabo Quinones, number 7, is back row. He cannot break the plane of the net and touch a ball. So Will Ragland recognizes that he's there, wipes that hand, and the moment it touches Gabo Quinones, that is a back row infraction and a point for the Chicago Untouchables. In short, look at how smart Will Ragland is.
And that is too deep by Parashkovov. So here's Jake Langlois, who last year playing for the Utah Stingers was the 4th best scorer in the NVA at 4.42 points per set. Parashkovov gets blocked back. We go to Ragland, and he's able to hit it off of, maybe off the head.
Yeah.
I thought of Tim Johnson for the kill.
I think so, but once again, we see the cover prowess. Parashkovov takes a nice swing on the right side here, covered up well, and gives Ragland an opportunity. Looks to the bench, and this is such great feedback. Everyone letting him know exactly what the block's doing and how he can continue to score effectively. Ragland, unfortunately, barely finds the top of the net and doesn't get the roll that he's looking for.
So a side out for Austin Lovett. Lovett to serve. Nice on the pass, and that allows them to feed Parashkovov for his 14th kill. And they are going to challenge. Jose Malera pulls out the Korean challenge card. or they are not. Yeah, they've chosen otherwise. They will save their challenge, and we will go to a tactical timeout here in game number 4, 16-14. Untouchables on top. Come back for more.
OSIM.
Back here for set number 4, a 3-point lead now for Chicago as that one is sent too deep. And the Untouchables trying to do the unthinkable and send us to a 5th set.
Playing a really clean game right now, a lot of energy, feeling electric.
That is dumped by Ricchetti. Another free ball, and it's lucky to come back over, but the Untouchables didn't recognize in time. So credit Tim Johnson with a kill as it falls in.
That's one of those unfortunate situations. Oh man, I talked a little bit about it, that swagger and feeling good on the court, but there it is, starts at the top. You see Coach Andrew Lee rocking the bright blue and purple, the man of confidence right there.
That is a man who's feeling comfortable after winning a challenge today.
We talked a little bit there though, that ball falls short, and that's where you see sometimes the impact of not having your libero on the court because there is a, when you have your middle serving. So no Jordan Robinson to help control that back row. Really a tough situation.
17-15, there is a conversation being had there between Gianluca Grasso and our lead official for today's match. And a yellow card has been issued to the Tyrant bench. It will only come back to harm them if they pick up another, then it would become a red.
Got a note on that.
As our referee, Dennis Franceschini, issues that. And as Anderson goes to serve, Nice swinging away. Anderson with a big dig. And Grasso getting the side out. No, it's wide. And as Chicago finds themselves with a 3-point lead, let's send it over to Noah Chast.
And that was Tim Johnson who got that yellow card. And over during the technical timeout, his team was kind of walking him through his blocking progressions and where he should put his hands because he felt like he was getting beat. And clearly on that last play, he felt he got beat again and just taking his frustrations out on the ball and on the alleged fly on the wall, as they were saying he was taken care of.
Oh, that's what it was. Well, glad that he took care of that for us here in the Pure Sports Center. We don't want any distractions, so Tyrants seeing if they can get back on top now. Still down by 2.
18-16, Grasso with a big serve there to set up his team. However, Chicago gets the kill from Nice, and the Untouchables, my goodness, Nick, this is certainly a surprise here in the 4th set.
Langlois there and Grasso having the discussion. 2 veteran minds bouncing ideas off each other. Should we challenge or do we let that go?
19-16. Grasso, hard to deal with that one. And Anderson couldn't give Langlois anything to work with. Langlois misses long, and the lead is 4 for the Untouchables.
Man, it feels like there's been a bit of an extinguishment here in the fire of the Tyrants. The court almost feels smaller with how many balls they're hitting out.
Nice again off the tape. They go to Langlois. From the back row, Nice. And he's able to tool Ryan Mounty out of bounds. And the lead for the Untouchables swells to 5.
Really representing their namesake, the Untouchables feel relentless right now. See if they can maintain this 5-point lead.
Off the tape, Langlois with the pass. They go in the middle to Ryan Mounty, who gets an answer. So Mounty to serve, Will Ragland, he's tough. He has the pass. And the Untouchables, they're forcing Texas to play very scrappy now, but they can't play in system. Ragland sticks it through! Will Ragland.
Ryan Mounty working some magical geometry over there to sneak that ball over, but Untouchables able to continue the rally and find exactly what they're looking for.
So here's Zachar Pasha out of Grandview University, 26 years old. Langlois, but Grabowski got some hands on that. Off-bound swing by Pereshkovov. Langlois again, and he gets blocked. A triple block for Chicago. Ragland teaming with Grabowski and Pereshkovov to slow down. You're not going to stop, but slow down Jake Langlois, and the Untouchables lead 23-17.
This is not how I expected the fourth set to go based on how it started.
This is not how I expected this match to go. And for a moment, a reprieve as Austin Lovett gets the kill. So they'll bring back in Kionis, and they'll also bring back in Tim Johnson. Meanwhile, they do some court maintenance. I preserve those ankles, folks.
Coach Lee talking right now with Danny Pereshkovov about, what he should be doing, what he should be looking for. And it looks like he wants Danny taking a lot of angle against Jake Langlois. Let him tip over the top and see if they can't play defense if he adjusts his swing accordingly.
They go to Nice from the back row. Grasso runs that one down. Langlois gets the touch.
Chicago doing a great job of finding triple blocks to the outside. Thus far, their efforts have been rewarded, but good defensive hustle there from Grasso, tracking that down off the hands of Johnson's block.
Grabowski, a little bit of a miss hit. Grasso able to keep it on the court. A roll by Langlois. And a double block by Lovett and Tim Johnson. And the Tyrants aren't going to go down quietly. They've cut the lead in half. It's now 23-20. And the Untouchables will want to discuss as Andrew Lee and his bright Sunday shirt talk it over. For the Untouchables, they had a 6-point lead. The Tyrants have so many options, but they keep going to Jake Langlois, and why not right now? He's been your most consistent hitter today. Tim Johnson is back in the match, of course. I still feel Tyrants need to get Austin Lovett, though, much more involved. Hasn't had the same impact that he did in match number 1 against the LA Blaze.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, we talked about how much that almost felt uncharacteristic. Not that we haven't seen great performances from Lovett before, but man, that was just some next level play. So maybe we see a little return to that here. The team could definitely use some of that energy. And that's what's so impressive about him is he's just so fired up when he's doing well like that.
Ragland swinging away, and he gets the side out they had to have, and the Untouchables, leading 24-20, have 4 set points.
I just remember not one set ago you were saying, man, I really want to see Ragland contributing offensively, and I think he's added 5 kills, if I'm not mistaken, since then. So we're certainly seeing that return here for him.
As a former AVCA National Player of the Week, that's just how he rolls. And we'll see if the Untouchables can end it here, and they do, as Lovett left it short, and the Untouchables win the 4th set 25-20. We are going to set 5, folks. Who thought that was in the cards today? Well, stay with us. Set 5 coming up next here in San Bernardino. We'll be back for more.
OSIM.
Back here in San Bernardino, set number 5 coming up here as the Chicago Untouchables are looking for a shocking upset, perhaps, of the Texas Tyrants. To get us set for game number 5, we'll send it to the sideline. Third member of our crew, Noah Chast.
Well, you mentioned Will Ragland needs to get going, and he did. And during that timeout, he told his team, just get me the freaking ball. I think he's realized whoever's blocking him on the left side is not able to hold him, and he can force it through their hands. And in terms of the team's kind of differences in personality, the Untouchables, they like to chirp a lot. They like to talk through the net, like to joke, while the Tyrants seem to be a little more all business. But the Untouchables are seeing, if it bleeds, you can kill it.
If it bleeds, you can kill it. That is some words. I'm taking a headset off. I'm going home.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets.
I
Noah,
can't
wise words, and I think that we all felt like the difference here between these two teams with the tyrannical Tyrants coming at the Untouchables. I don't think we saw this maybe even going past a close 3 sets, much less going the distance for set number 1 here, or match number 1 here on day number 3.
Well, the Tyrants are showing they are human. I don't have any cool analogies like Noah to throw in there, but the Chicago Untouchables, 15 points. They get there first. They will pull off the first great upset in the NVA this year.
Quick look at some important numbers here. We see for the Untouchables, 13 service errors, 3 aces. On the side of the Tyrants, 12 service errors, 2 aces. Reception numbers are almost identical. Very good numbers, so excited to see how it plays out here in the 5th. We're under the way.
Well covered by Chicago. Ragland swinging away. Here's Langlois. They go back to Langlois, and he sticks to the floor his 20th kill. Here's Austin Lovett to serve. Over on 2, sneaky Noah Ricchetti.
We talked about the importance of that, and we saw multiple dumps between sets number 2 and 3, but Ricchetti kind of let the Tyrants defense fall asleep, and a monstrous effort to throw that one down.
1-1 here, game 5, Ragland can't come through. This match now over 2 hours old. Match number 2 will be at noon. It'll be the Stingers and the Tornadoes. It's an American Central action. Down the line and getting the touch, Danny Pereshkov with yet another.
We talked about the importance of using Danny to open up the rest of the team's offense. I love that set selection here early. Get the man involved.
Here's Camille Garbowski, Kane University product in New Jersey. Out of Clifton, New Jersey. From the back row, Grasso with the big swing for the result.
Chicago don't want the Tyrants to get any sense of momentum back here, but down just by 1. Their scrappy defense there extends that rally well.
Langlois back to serve. And he left it short. These guys are going to leave it all out on the court today, and this is it for the weekend. Their final matches, each of these teams now knows what it's like to play a 5-setter. Well, actually, Chicago's is their second 5-setter. As that comes into our table after the kill by Grasso. And Chicago doing 2 5-set matches in less than 24 hours time. And here's Ryan Mounty. Blocked back by the Tyrants. Second chance for Chicago. And finding the court, Danny Pereshkov. What an angle. And the Untouchables. A formidable matchup here against the Tyrants. You know, I thought coming in, Texas had a chance to go unbeaten in divisional play this year, but Chicago's not going to make it easy for them, as that is just long. And does Chicago use their lone challenge in the 5th set? Any challenges you did not use coming in to the 5th set are now gone. You get one challenge. If you are correct, you get another. If you're not, well, then you got to live with the results called by the officials. Here's Tim Johnson to serve. Swinging away, another kill. Pereshkovov can't be stopped.
Pereshkovov feels like the key to solving the problem that is the Texas Tyrants here for the Chicago Untouchables.
Here is Zakir Pasha. And that is left short by Grosso.
Grosso and Langlois have been having a lot of success swinging into that angle, but doesn't find it there. Goes a little too sharp, net's a little too high. A little warning issued. I think there was some celebration going towards the net, and the officials trying to keep that to a minimum, although no issue celebrating away from the net with your team.
Grosso goes back, and this time he'll get it to fall in. Got the touch, and Nice couldn't keep it on the court. We're all square at 6. Exciting action here to start our day, the 3rd day of our opening weekend of the season. And of course, the first match will go the distance.
Pereshkovov has 15 kills.
Danny Pereshkovov, 15 kills in just 3 and maybe a 3rd sets of play, because he came in, didn't play the first set. Ragland! Oh, the power from Southern Virginia.
I mean, there's something to be said as an outside hitter when you're battling with big serves like that. You're trying to get the best pass possible, but it was a little out of system. But Ragland brings the hammer to clean up his own trash there. Huge swing, but a great set to give him a good opportunity on the swing.
Ragland's from Chicago, Illinois, played his collegiate volleyball in Southwest Virginia.
Oh!
And a double block, but the Untouchables not able to terminate it. Rachetti tries to tip it over. One more time, the Tyrants are ready. From the back row, Nice delivers!
That's as good as it gets. Jose Malero tries to extend the rally for the Tyrants by picking up the back dump there. But man, the offense of the Chicago Untouchables feels absolutely relentless right now. You'll see the two teams switching sides. The first team to reach 8 initiates a side swap, and so that's gonna take us right into the second half of this at 8-6. Chicago Untouchables potentially in place to pull off an upset that no one thought possible.
The Untouchables leading by 2, 8-6. Danny Pereshkovov, I mean, right now as he drops back to serve, he is playing with confidence. He's been probably the best player on the court today. That says a lot with all the weapons that Texas has. Langlois, he can't put it away. Here is Ragland, and he misfires.
Little bit of a misconnection on the tempo of that set. Ragland was up early and fast trying to beat the blocker. Set was a little bit slower than he wanted, and he fires wide and long there just by a bit, but unable to convert all the same. Now 7-8. Tyrants looking to answer back.
Austin Lovett to serve. And Pereshkovov puts his hands over his head. He knows he missed.
8-8.
Golden opportunity there for the Untouchables. 2 points in a row for Austin Lovett and company. He will drop back to serve, the San Jose, California native. Oh, and Rachetti tried to go back to the well too many times.
That's 3 attack errors in a row going left to right. Ragland, then we saw it Pereshkovov, and now we see the dump into the net. Man, when your team's having issues like that, I know that sometimes setters want to feel involved. They want to take control and help out, but tough miss there.
And timeout here for Chicago to try to calm the nerves, and it might be nerves here because this is, I think you could safe to say they're overachieving here today against a very heavily favored Texas Tyrants squad. I'm sure that anybody who wants to place a wager in these matches overseas would have probably today picked the Texas Tyrants, but the Untouchables saying, hey, that's why we play these games. Leave the results out on the court. So Langlois and company. Tim Johnson's been very quiet, by the way.
Yeah.
Ever since the yellow card.
Not a lot of energy, feeling a little deflated. Maybe an answer and a way back in. Nice with a windmill.
Grasso from the back row. Oh, the chest dig from Pereshkabov. He'll swing away. Langlois, that's a terrible set from the Tyrants, and the Untouchables make them pay.
Pereshkabov with one of the sickest digs we've seen all day. Leans back, digs it with his chest, gets a great pop. Love to see that.
We'll have to ask him after the match if there is a Mikasa logo on his body. Langlois, stutter step, gets the kill. And it's 10-9 Tyrants. They are the first to double figures in our race to 15.
Float serve taken by Nice. Bump set to the outside. Nice controlled swing.
And
Grasso
that's
cannot track that one down off the high hands. Tied at 10. And once again, the race to 5 for the third set in a row will commence. For anyone that's unfamiliar, every single set is always a win by 2. So there's a final score of 25 for the first 4 sets, 15 for the 5th. But you've got to win by 2. And that missed set there is coming at a critically bad time for Chicago. 11-10 Tyrants.
So Jake Langlois will drop back to serve here to try to create a little separation between his team and this upstart Untouchable squad. Nice draws Texas into the net.
Johnson's hip catches the lower part of the net on the way down. 11-all. Ricchetti had a lot of success serving thus far. See if he can earn a real point here for the Untouchables.
Ricchetti goes deep and misses by 6 inches as I watch that ball sail over the blue line.
Untimely service errors for the Untouchables, forcing themselves to play some exceptional defense here.
So here's Ryan Mounty. Nice down the line. Can the Tyrants bring it back? They cannot. It's into the seats. And Chicago, it's 12-12.
I almost think Grasso might have gotten there if there had been a couple more feet before those stands. He saw that immediately, recognized what was going on, and took off running, showing some of his agility there.
So here is Austin Nice, the Purdue Fort Wayne former Mastodon. That's coming our way. Tim Johnson's able to bring it back. Big save for Texas. And tooling the block. No, it came down and caught the attacker. That becomes a block for the Tyrants.
It looked like it hit Ragland in the head. He was hoping he got away with it, always playing the game, trying to sell it. Once the hit or the touch was indicated, no argument there, and he's the one that will tell you if he disagrees. So fantastic blocking move. Tim Johnson finally able to get his hands where he wants them. Good takeaway for the Tyrants.
And what a break there for Texas, getting the touch off to the block.
Who would be Tyrant MVP?
And it'll be Anderson to serve, his team up by 1. From the right side, and sticking it through the block, Danny Pereshkabov.
We unfortunately don't have dig stats, but he was everywhere.
So 13-13, here's Pasha to serve. in our 5th set. Grosso finds the court over the shoulder of Pasha, and the Tyrants, trying to survive, have set point and match point. And the Untouchables are going to use a second timeout here in game number 5. I mean, we've had so many players in this match who've been inconsistent. We've also had some players that have stepped up when it's mattered. Grosso certainly has down the stretch. We've had some big moments for Chicago from Danny Pereshkovov, who is emerging as a star here for the Untouchables.
How did they hear that?
Match point, Gianluca Grosso has the ball in his hands to try to end it. 14-13. Big serve, Ragland's there for it, and the misfire on match point. The ball handling error, and the Tyrants survive. 15-13, heartbreak for the Untouchables. And the Texas Tyrants overcome a challenge they did not expect to get today.
I'm speechless. To get to that far and see that, that's just a shock. What a battle between these two teams. What an unfortunate mishandle there. The ball gets a little slick and sweaty at times. That had a ton of pace on it. I know Ragland's someone that's always doing his very best to keep the sweat off his platform. He's battling with that serve. You get some sweat there. And unfortunately, Ricchetti just not able to handle that much sweat on the ball there, falls through.
We had a couple balls actually came into our booth, and as I grab it and throw it back to our ball runners, I would feel just as it came here and after it hit 3-4 different objects, how just moist the ball was. So you can only imagine at this point of the match how difficult it was for Ricchetti, and you got to feel for him and the Untouchables come this far and to lose in that kind of a moment.
Yeah, that's a tough one to swallow for sure. But if there's any takeaway, it's having an immense amount of pride that you just took the Texas Tyrants 15-13. You went the distance. You explored every single opportunity and option for you to find a future.
Well, the Tyrants certainly were battle-tested today. One of their big reasons they were victorious was the efforts of Jake Langlois, and we'll send it over to Noah Chast on the sideline to talk to Jake, our man of the match.
Jake, our MVP of the match, finished with 21 kills, but this team really pushing you to your limits. How did you guys pull this one out in that late 5th set?
It's all about serve and pass in the 5th set. We had a couple bad passes, and we kind of got shaky, but we held it together, kept it close, and ended up passing really good at the end, and that made us sight out a lot easier.
And this was your first real test of this NVA season. How do you kind of move on from here knowing what this team's strengths and weaknesses are?
For me, it's hard because I don't get to be with the team in Dallas, but, I mean, everyone's playing really well. We just got to gel a little bit more. I got to connect with the setters, and I think we look good overall, though.
21 kills, they say you connected with the setter pretty well.
I wish I could say the same.
Well, I look forward to seeing some more connections. Congrats on the win. Nick, Ira.
Thank you, Noah, and thank you to Jake Langlois for joining us, our man of the match. 21 kills as the Texas Tyrants improved to 2-0 on the year, and all those wins coming in divisional play in the National Conference Central Division. Our next match will be coming up at 12 noon. That will be an American Central Conference divisional matchup, as it is the Utah Stingers, Jake Langlois' former team, taking on the other Texas squad, the Dallas Tornadoes. For Noah Chast and my partner Nick England, I'm Ira Thor. Thanks for joining us for our first match of the day. We'll be back with you at noon for match number 2.
OSIM.